But one thing's for sure, Inspector Clay is dead, murdered, and somebody's responsible.
Hello, and welcome to the final podcast, the last podcast you'll ever listen to.
Booze, brews, and horror movie reviews. Your final bros have survived. It's me.
Well, it is Brian, Hot Boy LaGrasta.
That's me. I'm me. And we have Shane of the Deep Smith.
Oh, I'm here.
Oh, and Mike the Cannibal Gypsy.
What would you guys do if I just turned into pop sensation Donna Lewis?
I don't know. Who is that?
Donna Lewis, I love you always forever.
Maddie with the stick.
He's
Here we
here.
go.
Okay.
Here we go.
Let's
Let's play my favorite game. What's in my green cup?
What's
Water.
in the cup?
Ice
What's
chips.
in the cup?
What'd you say?
Ice chips.
It's ice water. Yeah, ice chips.
I heard you chomping.
Mike's a big hydration guy.
After I get a little drinky poo on, I like to stay hydrated.
That's actually how you avoid getting hungover.
Yeah.
Fun facts.
I don't know if I've ever been hungover.
Good for you.
I don't know though.
Bro, is it true you can't get high?
It's true.
How much would you have to smoke, or how strong would it have to be for you to get high?
I think the only way for me to get high is if
Edible.
Danny D-String Ravenda blew smoke in my mouth. Although I'll never let him do that.
If you took an edible, you would get high.
Just kidding. If I did an edible, I think I would turn into another being entirely.
I've seen it happen.
I probably would just become undead.
That was
Mike has seen me take an edible once.
I did?
No.
Yeah, I've never seen you.
I think, who has? A couple people.
Me.
No, you did. Oh, you didn't
you
because
didn't get
you
mad.
were being assaulted during that.
Because you were on an edible and then you just passed out.
You were getting.
Oh, you took an edible that night?
Yeah.
Oh, you were concussed.
I had no idea.
I remember that night distinctly because I almost broke the top of the
bed.
room that we were in the bed, doing a swanton bomb on the mic from it.
Yeah. Something else almost broke that night, too. My neck.
You were going to say my soul.
I think it was your
Yeah, that
brain.
too.
My neck.
Or that door that I locked myself behind that you guys somehow broke into. That door probably almost broke, too.
Oh, God. Isn't it so sad that it's the end already of Bad Movie January? I feel like we
been
just
a good
started
I
on
feel like we should do this all year.
bad movies.
Yeah. I just only want to do bad movies
Bad
for 2025.
I don't know how you guys enjoyed these films because these were not the easiest to get
Yeah,
through.
I mean, we've had some good ones and some really good ones.
Some really good ones like Doom.
Essential theme of these, like I said in previous weeks, is really just figuring out and trying to make sense of something that truly was set out to make no sense.
Great, because we're doing Plan 9 from Outer Space, and I need you to explain the entire plot of this movie.
This one, I would arguably say, is the hardest of them all to interpret the plot. Because it's either as simple as there are aliens that are trying to invade us, but the best way for them to invade us is to turn the dead into the undead and populate the undead to get us. But instead of doing that with a population, they do it with 2 people. Or 3 maybe.
Technically 3. Bella Lugosi's kind of confused in this movie.
Bella, Vampira,
Yep.
and then Inspector Clay.
Does Vampira have a waist?
That waist is tapered as shit.
Like, I feel like her organs have to be screaming.
What do they call that? A corset?
Corset.
Her waist is like suffocating.
Yes.
It's like the oxygen around it is fucking pummeling it into nothingness.
Yes.
It's kind of the craziest thing I've ever seen.
Yeah.
And I've saw Inspector Clay.
It's terrifying.
It's kind of, this movie is just wild. So if you don't know, Plan 9 from Outer Space is directed by Ed Wood. Ed Wood apparently is a director known for being one of the worst ever.
Is that him?
No. But Ed Wood is depicted in the movie Ed Wood by Johnny Depp in a Tim Burton movie, which is one of the most underrated movies.
So good.
Because I feel like nobody talks about Ed Wood, and Ed Wood is really fucking funny. I think it's got Johnny Depp, Martin Landau, Bill Murray, Patricia Arquette, Sarah Jessica Parker, and it's a movie discussing the life of Ed Wood and his vision. And of course, there's a comedic tone to it, but I feel like there's definitely a lot of truth to it.
Yes.
Because it depicts his like personality, because Ed Wood apparently was a guy that was interested in cross-dressing. He would only want to take one shot and move on with his films. He wouldn't really care for plot. He was just a really interesting guy.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm excited that we're reviewing one of his movies, a movie that makes no sense and talks about interstellar grave robbers.
So are the
Poor
aliens
Johnson.
trying to help us?
No.
I thought they said they were coming in peace.
I think they were trying to come into peace to try to gain like some kind of formal relationship with us, but we prevented that from happening. So they turned the dead into the undead.
Okay.
Look at that name, Dudley Manlove. How crazy is that?
That's a great name. It makes me wonder, though, like, who he is in this movie.
Dudley?
Manlove.
Oh,
Who is he?
probably,
He's got to be a cop, right?
probably Inspector Clay.
No, that's Tor Johnson.
Thor.
This movie has a marvel in it in the name of Inspector Clay, played by Tor Johnson.
Yeah.
And it has one of the most watched scenes in the three of our film viewing experience.
Yes.
I don't think I've watched a scene more than that scene, because just before we did this review, we watched it 6 times.
Yeah.
And that is not on top of the first time we viewed this, where we watched the one scene for maybe an hour and Brian pooped himself pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like, it is easily the funniest scene I think I've ever seen in my life, where Tor Johnson is first brought onto the scene of a crime, is maybe in the movie for a couple minutes.
Yeah.
Messes up every line he's given. You can't understand a thing he's saying. Dies in the film, and then is reborn as a zombie later on that just kind of like walks around with his mouth open.
Yeah.
That's his character in this movie. But
Really?
that scene is fucking gold.
No joke. I don't think I've ever laughed so hard in my life.
At a
The
scene.
The first time we
Yeah.
saw that.
Because you, like, now, like, on our 400th rewatch, I know every word he says. But when we first watched that, and he first starts talking, you have no fucking clue what he is saying.
Yeah.
You really don't. It's kind of nuts.
The way he says medical examiner.
Medical exam. It's literally nuts. All right. I mean, like, look, we can talk about this film till the cows come home. This is the finale of Bad Movie January, a movie that is on Tubi and that we probably will shit on. However, I think it just needs to be viewed at least once,
Agreed.
because there's really nothing like it. I don't know.
I don't either. But you know what I do know? We are 4 guys that love to jump into the spooky pit.
Plan 9 from Outer Space was released in 1957. Aliens set Plan 9 into motion by bringing the dead to life on Earth, threatening those around them. The film, directed by Edward D. Wood Jr., stars Gregory Walcott, Mona McKinnon, Duke Moore, Tom Keane, Tor Johnson, Bela Lugosi, Mila Nurmi, and Chris Well, who narrates the film. So the movie, I will kick it off.
Oh, please.
It's going to be narrated by Chris Well and tells the story that is happening on a show called Chris Well Presents or something. And he's going to talk about the events that occur that shake the foundation of our very lives, which can only be disputed as inaccurate, but are true according to him. And it's going to start with a man whose wife dies. An old man, played by Bela Lugosi, his wife is going to die, and they're going to have a funeral for the wife. And apparently there's a lot of grave robbers around and that want to mingle with her grave. So that's like the opening scene.
Right.
Very tragic. His wife dies. Okay.
Now he also dies, right? At some point.
Later on, he also dies
How does he die though?
of heartbreak. Actually, no, I think he gets hit by a car. I'm not even kidding you. And you want to know how that's depicted? Is when that he looks like he's sad. The narration is that he's sad, and then he walks off screen into the street, and you just hear a loud lady scream, and then a car horn. We'll play it when it gets to it. It's kind of nuts. Because like, I'm like, I even asked Caleb, I'm like, did this guy just get killed by a car or a heartbreak?
So she watched this?
All parts of it.
Oh.
She was disgusted.
Disgust. It's a strong word.
Strong.
I agree. How about the scene where you have Gregory Walcott's character up flying around in a plane and they're spotting a flying saucer in the air, interrupting their flight pattern, and it's held together by a string?
Amazing.
It literally-
Also, how do you like that their pilot wheels on the airplane are clearly just cardboard?
yeah, this movie's just fucking sick. Like the fact that this is actually a film is crazy. 57. I mean, this is 1957.
Yeah.
You could do better than the strings on the saucers.
Oh my god! Like, didn't like War of the Worlds come out?
Yeah.
Around the original come out around this time.
Yeah, there's no
The
excuse.
original thing came out, I think, in '56.
Look at this. Look at this is nuts.
Actually, like when you really think about it,
It's on a
crazy
string.
that this is real.
It's literally on a string.
How is this real? Like, how is this like?
And it looks like the spacing, like the size of it is so ridiculous. It looks so fucking tiny.
Yes.
But it's supposedly really big.
So there's these two people digging graves, the grave diggers, not to be confused with the monster truck grave digger.
Yeah, I was getting confused, so
Yeah,
thanks for
that's-
clarifying.
Dude, that's crazy. I was thinking just that.
Yeah, no,
I was like, oh my God, monster truck grave digger.
I didn't want you.
I was like, dude, Shane, fucking grave digger from Monster Truck. That's what I was thinking.
You want to talk about you said it earlier, the set design of this movie is just fucking garb.
Yeah.
Dude, so it's like turning dark, but it's still light out, right? It's light. It's clearly daytime.
Yes.
If you watch the scene for about another 10 seconds, they're going to leave and it's going to be dark, pitch black.
Yeah, but then they also will. Then someone will drive to that scene in the daylight, back into the darkness.
Is there something wrong with the sky? Like,
It might be the aliens.
they just come and they pollute the sky purple and black?
it's probably that.
Look, it's dark. The cemetery, for some reason, is just clouded in darkness.
Even though it's light, like they're in the light, but she's in the dark.
Yeah. So you do see one of the flying saucers go over the graveyard, and the idea is, although you don't see this, it basically resurrects the old man's wife, who is really, Vampira, who is now walking around the cemetery as a zombie. They don't walk through the town. They kind of just stay around the cemetery because they go in and out of the flying saucer.
Yeah.
Now, this is where Bela Lugosi, who's the old man, is going to die and join his wife.
So he does die in this scene.
He does. Yeah. So the narrator's going to mention that his house is so lonely. He's so lonely, lonely, and more importantly, old.
Mm-hmm.
And then he's mourning his wife. He's wearing this black robe because they got to keep his Dracula persona.
He's incredibly old.
I'm going to just go off volume a little bit here.
So basically, we're watching Bela Lugosi pick some flowers.
Is
And
this
then-
his mourning process?
This is every morning process. You know how you would make cereal and milk
Yeah.
and have breakfast with like maybe some orange juice? He's
Maybe
gonna
coffee.
pick flowers because his life is hopeless. Maybe make a coffee.
So did he pick the flower and drop it on
Yes.
the ground?
But he's still on grass here.
I'm not gonna lie, he kind of deserves to get hit by a
Wait.
car.
What do you think?
Wait, but he ain't cross the street. He was walking
this
on his own
movie-
lawn.
This movie's fucking sickening.
Wait, he was walking on his own lawn.
So there's two things. One, no car hit him, even though it seems like a lady screamed or something. No car hit him, and he died of heartbreak or just died of going into another scene transition. And then like the next cut was just a car, and that was the sound from the previous
I
clip.
like to think he died of knowing he had to be in more of this movie.
Yeah. I'm going to take it that he was hit by a car. I don't know how
Yeah.
else to take it. But yeah, it's very confusing.
Man, Bela Lugosi deserved a little better.
I'm gonna go with
He did this though, right? Because he needed the money.
According to the movie, he needed the money and really didn't want to do this, but took it. And yeah, I'm pretty sure Martin Landau plays him in the movie.
I think you're right. Like this was an actual man who tried his best. You know?
He tried his hardest.
Yes. But it was just not good.
Yeah, but if he's like seeing like a take, and no matter what the take is, he's fine with it. Is he really trying his best?
You know what's crazy? Bela Lugosi died the year before this movie was released.
Wow.
Oh, he just didn't ever want to watch this.
I
Yeah.
truly believe this movie killed him.
He was 73, though.
It's not super old. It's old.
Yeah. He was born in 1882.
That's
Wow.
crazy.
Wow. Yeah, I mean,
He was the OG Dracula.
He is the Dracula.
Also, where do these people come out of?
That's a great question.
Oh,
What is that?
They're
I think
big-
they come out of the mausoleum.
They're bigger than the mausoleum, though.
Mausoleum looks like a toy. 4 people just came out of it. 4. And that dude's like sort of heavy set.
Yeah, but
4 people came out of that toy mausoleum.
we're going to have to get his statement because he finds the grave diggers.
That's
This
fine.
movie-
We can get his statement, but look at those gravestones. They're so miniature.
Also, when they find the grave diggers, not the monster truck, the 2 guys that were digging in
The
the graves.
dead grave diggers,
Yeah.
they're dead by the hands of the undead vampira.
Yes. They are obviously mannequins. Why didn't he just use the real people laying on the ground?
That was the worst. They're it's so clearly fake
Honestly,
bodies.
I think they both were just like, yo, we got to go home. And he was like, sure. He's like, don't worry, I have 2 mannequins over there.
Just leave your clothes.
He's like, you guys go home, I'll take Josh.
So Inspector Clay is on the case, though.
That's the thing. So they hype up Inspector Daniel Clay, who arrives on the scene, and this is the scene.
This is it.
This is the one.
Seriously, no joke. This movie is fucking sickening, but you need to. Everyone should
Needs to
watch
see this scene.
this scene.
It's one of the greatest scenes ever made.
It really is.
No, it is.
It's a marvel to look at and to hear.
Yeah,
It's just like
It's visually stunning because Tor John, like he's a tank of a man.
He's a tank. That's
he
the
was a
thing.
wrestler.
Oh, makes sense. Dude's like
Yep.
fucking 7 foot tall.
I think I read he was a Swedish pro wrestler.
Oh yeah, that makes sense. So like, this is the thing. Like, he's a hulking man, right?
He's huge.
That suit could barely fit on him, and the hat fits perfectly on his head, though. But thing is, he's an incredible detective. He's a man
Yes.
who is great at his craft. Thing is, he never gets to do anything because he's gonna die instantaneously, and we never really verify if he's good or not at his job.
No,
But they make him out to
I
be.
like to think he's terrible because he's just. They say, "What are you gonna do?" He's like, "I'm gonna walk around." So, which in Tor Johnson means I'm gonna walk around a little, but he just gets killed by Vampira and Bela Lugosi, or
Yeah.
he gets killed by Bela Lugosi.
Well, he's a detective. I think he's killed by. That's a good question. I don't know.
I think it's
could-
Bella, right? Because
tell you right
Bella
now.
is now the old man who is now.
They both attack and kill him. So, thing is, though, he needs to get to the bottom of what's going on here because there's a lot of crazy disturbances, right? So he's in number one. Ask if the local police force got their statements, which they haven't yet,
no,
right?
no.
And then
Who found them?
he wants to know who found them. Clearly, they're real people, the real corpses.
Yes.
And he's like, you guys are going to take everybody back to town. I'm Inspector Clay. I'm taking charge. And it's going to get dark there. It's not dark yet, but it's going to get dark.
I just want some consistency.
You ain't getting that.
From my lighting. Like, be like fear.com.com. If you're going to go blue, stay blue the whole movie.
Right. This movie, it's dark, it's light, it's dark,
Yeah.
it's light, and it's the same scene.
But he's going to go back and get his flashlight out of the patrol car like he said he would. And he's going to go solo and investigate what's going on in the cemetery.
He doesn't need backup. He's Inspector Clay.
He's Inspector Clay. And look, the way he commands the screen.
Look how fucking huge this dude
Look at
is.
his command. That flashlight is cracking in the midst of those big hands.
Look at his fucking sausage fingers.
Those huge fucking mitts. That suit. How many suits you think they had to get for this guy? Nothing could fit him.
Yeah, it's definitely a tailored suit.
Yeah.
Also, there's a guy in this movie who keeps scratching his neck with his gun. Did you ever notice that? It's one of the detectives or cops.
Yeah.
He keeps taking his gun out and scratching it with the fucking shooty end of the gun.
You think he's like fiending for like drugs or something?
No, I think he's going to accidentally kill himself most of the movie.
You think he's going on a Fenty trip?
Might be.
Shane, what was your last good Fenty?
I don't do Fenty. I think it's this guy with the on the left with the hat. Yeah, it's absurd.
Okay, then there's this pilot
So
dude.
this is the other story that's going to mix. So then you have the pilot who's back home with his wife. He saw a UFO, right? That's like the story. He saw it, so now he's got to live with the fact that he saw a UFO and nobody is talking about it. No one's carrying the story.
It's so strange because, like, I don't know, like none of it feels connected. Because I guess it kind of isn't. Until like the
connected by-
very end when they all come together.
It's stupid. And that ending scene, my gosh. Could they have made a worse ending to this movie?
I'm telling you, from like pretty much
This point on?
is very boring.
Yeah.
And we are 20 something minutes into an hour and 20-minute movie.
12 minutes into it.
Oh, fuck.
Like...
Nothing happens through the rest of
Yeah,
this movie.
it's pretty weak from here, honestly. They flash kind of like to a couple of these different stories. Because now they're going to basically the next scene, they're going to kill Inspector Clay, both of the undead.
Yeah.
And then they have the 3 undead. Those are the only 3 undead in the movie.
Yes.
They don't have any more. It's Inspector Clay, Vampira, and Bela Lugosi.
There is a funny scene where the army sees all the UFOs, so they intersperse shots of like World War II into the movie of just like like the military shooting things. But like, Matt, time check.
22 minutes.
Okay, because
I do kind of think it's funny how they tried to low-key address the fact that the military withholds secrets from the American public.
yeah,
Like,
I mean
even
it's
then.
ahead of its time. But
And how about this scene where they see the UFOs and all of a sudden hit the deck?
And like all their furniture moves
yeah,
from that giant UFO.
go is the gust.
And they also make it like there's a whole invasion. It's like one fucking UFO with like 2 people on it. And you don't see anybody else. Just the 2 to 3
By the way,
people.
did you guys see the dead body flop there?
Yeah, it was incredible. It was one
So
of the
this is when Inspector Clay gets killed off, right? From the UFO, like, because once the UFO flies over, I think this is when Vampira or Bella gets him.
I think it's both.
It might be. He's a big dude. It might take 2.
Yeah.
So the thing now, the aliens are just normal people who wear purple and make this thing.
Yeah. I think his name is Eros. He's like the leader, right?
Yeah.
Eros. Yeah, they're just normal people. And when they get into that like confrontation at the end with the pilot and the other detective, it's like almost as if like they're trying to peacefully form a like a coalition or come together with Earth, but then why are they making undead people? Like it feels
Yeah.
disjointed.
Also, why is Bella just being a vampire if he's a zombie?
Yeah, it makes no sense. Like that's another thing. He is literally a vampire as a zombie. Same thing with Vampira. They're playing who the actors and actresses really are and famous for in real life, but in this movie when they're really supposed to be undead.
Yeah.
And now they're also leaving the mausoleum that everybody else left when he's supposed to be in the fucking spaceship.
What's also the purple light signify?
That's Ed Wood.
Okay.
And that's the thing, like Inspector Clay, like he sees both of them and gets scared. Her waist defies all
fucking
logic.
crazy.
Can we talk about her waist?
Yeah, that's what I'm
What
saying.
in the shit?
Her organs are in pain.
Is this like one of those magic tricks where her body is really in the top half of it and it's just off screen and like the second half is just like mechanical?
I don't know. No, I think this is legit.
So they're both going to kind of converge on Inspector Clay.
It's
and
all
he's off
so
sc-
bad.
Yeah, he's off screened. And his hat fell off.
That's
I never thought that hat would ever fall off his head, which is kind of crazy that happened.
Right, because it's so perfectly fitted to
It
his head.
perfectly fit on his head.
I'm surprised that suit didn't fucking explode at the seams, though.
I just think they had tons of suits. Oh, can we look up the amount of suits they needed for Tor Johnson in this film?
What's the suit budget of Plan 9 from Outer Space?
Can you type in what was the suit budget of Plan 9?
I don't think this movie had a budget. I think everyone just brought shit from home.
How long do you think it took them to film this movie? A couple days?
Yeah.
Who's the best actor in this movie?
Tor Johnson.
I was going to say the other. I don't know. I was going to say the other detective. I have no idea.
Maybe it's this guy.
There's like an alcoholic who grabs like a newspaper at some point in this movie too. Which
Yeah,
is
well,
kinda
because
funny.
everybody is seeing these fucking UFOs. Although, like I said, you really only see one, so it's kind of nuts. This is like the what do you call that montage? Like a collection of
Yes.
scenes. And now like all these flying saucers are being spotted over Washington D.C. and big areas.
and they open fire on them, and
Yep.
they just keep interspersing that with the colonel staring through his binoculars at like stock footage.
Yeah.
Because look, just let this run because there clearly is just the colonel standing in front of a blue screen, like, oh my lord, there, he just keeps doing that.
Yeah, that's right.
Interspliced in between these shots, it's actually absurd.
Can't find the suit budget of Plan 9.
They're not listing a suit
That's
budget.
true.
I'm
Is there a
finding a
budget
budget in
at all?
general. That's what I'm looking for.
What is the budget?
I saw something about 60,000.
No, that seems way too high.
Yeah, that's the thing. But I only saw it like in the Google like description, but I can't find it on the actual page.
All right, so like Shane mentioned, the aliens are these people that are robed in purple. It looks like they're in the Black Lodge because of the red curtains, but they're not. They're in a spaceship where you really see one or two rooms. Supposedly big, doesn't seem big. And they're going to talk about like going to Earth and enacting Plan 9, even though Plan 9's already kind of been in motion. You don't know what happened plans 1 through 8. Nobody knows what happened to the first 8 plans. But Plan 9 is going to be the one where they're bringing the dead to life to get their business in order. What their business is not explained.
And they do this through an electric gun that they holster.
Yep. And if they don't use the electric gun, if the electric gun is not in use, then the undead are like in stasis and they're vulnerable. Because it happens throughout this film. They're like, oh, my electric gun wasn't off.
They also will attack anyone because the zombies can't differentiate people from the aliens, so they will attack whoever is in front of them because they're identical.
Are you saying they're just like fucking husks?
Yes,
You're saying they're mindless zombies?
mindless husks.
I do enjoy the fact that like they're unstoppable. They can't be stopped by bullets or anything. Yet at the later on in the film, Tor Johnson's character is hit in the back of the head with a stick
And dies.
and crumbles to nothingness.
Yeah, doesn't he turn into a skeleton from the hit from the stick?
Yeah, so no, he hits him down, and because they leave and the gun is not in range, he just becomes a skeleton.
I love how like zombie lore throughout time, right, has always been like, oh, they're just like mush. They have like there's like no insides or anything.
Yeah.
And in this movie, they're fucking skeletons.
They're little
full
skeletons.
Yeah.
There's no blood.
Contrary to popular belief, the detective who points his gun at himself several times did it deliberately. The actor wanted to see if Ed would notice instead.
There you go, Shane. And the answer was he didn't.
That's fucking sick. Because that guy constantly has the gun pointed at himself.
And also, I went on 2 different websites. They would say 60,000.
Yeah, I even checked IMDb. IMDb has it listed as 60,000 to the budget.
That's kind of crazy how like his own staff was like fucking with him. Like that's not great.
No, that's a very toxic work environment.
Well, that's what happens when he doesn't care about doesn't care about the production itself.
Yeah, I would love to like actually watch real videos of him to see like what his like
He was like,
demeanor is. Because like obviously he's going to be portrayed like a goof in the movies, but like is he really a goof in real life? He might be.
yeah, I don't know.
Is that a lot of money back then? 60,000.
In 1950?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's a lot
So you're saying this is a high budget film.
for the time.
For the
yes.
time, yeah. I mean, you got to think Terrifier 1 just back now. Terrifier 1 goes back to what, 2016? Was made on a $300,000 budget. And that movie is like not great, but like think of what they did with 300,000 comparatively to what he did with 600 and like 60 and like 60. That's a lot back then, especially like.
Which would explain why some of the things are smaller.
Yeah.
And that's why they're working with string UFOs rather
Oh, it's
than
brutal. It's so brutal. Like, look at this. Look at this.
The saucer's just in the middle of the galaxy, just hanging out. This is nuts. This is just like a montage of saucers crossing the screen on strings. Like, it's just like, this is nuts.
This is, I feel like it's like really next level of like not giving a fuck about.
No, but like Ed Wood cared. He wanted to make good films.
Is this the oldest movie we've talked about? Or
Yeah. I think the oldest one before this was probably Rosemary's Baby. And this one is just a little older. I mean, this is basically like Lugosi doing Lugosi because he's gonna
Break into this woman's home.
break in and like do his Dracula thing, but except this is not Dracula. This is Plan 9.
Yeah,
and
like-
he's gonna Plan 9er.
So did Ed Wood just tell Bela Lugosi to be a vampire? Like, I forgot how he does it in Ed Wood, the movie. Like, what does Johnny Depp say in Ed Wood to Lugosi? Exactly.
I think he just tells him to be Dracula. Like
He does, right?
Like he's like fucking Dracula in this movie as a zombie. So he basically the pilot's the main character of this movie. At least I think he is. I could be wrong. Calls his wife, tells her to watch out. Like right after that, she finishes reading a book in 2 seconds, puts the book back on the shelf. In comes Bela Lugosi. She sees this guy. He's covering his face like Dracula, kind of like draping his arm around it so you can't see his slicked back gray hair and face. And he's going to chase her. Thing is, he's very easily jukeable. Just like the BFG in Doom, she's going to juke right around him. Yep, that's easy. And then he's just going to pick up space and turn around and do the same thing.
Sick. This fucking movie.
This
so
is something
sick.
right out of the
He
gooch.
does.
Dude.
Wait, how did she get to the graveyard?
Is it like right outside her house?
The distance, the relative distance between things are crazy. The grave... I mean, I guess that makes sense because they kept seeing the UFOs. But
True.
like, it's like right out the front
So the pilot lives. His backyard is the graveyard. The pilot.
Correct.
Also, why is it daytime?
Yeah,
No, it's
daytime,
daytime.
nighttime. It's only nighttime in the woods of the cemetery.
All right, guys, relax. Lugosi's picking up speed.
Also, is this where Tor Johnson
Yeah,
comes in?
you are about to see Tor Johnson come out of
Look
the
at her
ground.
fucking waist, dude.
It's actually nuts. Like I can't even look at it.
It actually bothers me.
It's legitimately, it's making me uncomfortable.
Like, I feel bad. That has to hurt. But I guess she chose that life. But like, also, do you think they actually buried Tor Johnson alive for this scene?
I hope not. You know, you could only hope, and I hope not.
Why are her nails so red?
Look at Tor.
He is incredible though.
And from
Like
this moment on, his mouth does not close.
no, it's open forever.
He's really struggling to get up. Like, he's really struggling to get up.
What did he struggle with more, getting up or all of his lines before?
Oh, the lines.
Could you imagine? He's probably like pleading to Ed. He's like, "Please do not leave this in the movie. I look like a fucking fool." And Ed's like, "No, it's great. I'll put it in.
But I love it.
Hey, it's great."
I actually want to go home and watch Ed Wood
Yeah.
now. Do you have, Mike, have you ever seen Ed Wood?
I have not.
Dude, you would love that movie. Johnny Depp as Ed Wood. It's so funny.
I love how he's so notorious that they fucking made a movie about him.
Yeah, I made a comedy movie about
Yeah.
his movies. Like it's nuts.
Look at this guy.
Dude, what are his eyes looking at? Tor Johnson, is he cross-eyed walking through the cemetery? This is Plan 9. This is it. You're looking
Yeah.
at it. Him walking through the miniature graveyard in dark. She leaves the graveyard. It's basically morning. It's basically
yeah.
dusk now.
Oh, God. I'm actually just reading up on Ed Wood now.
It's like you ever trying to make a movie with like all of your like favorite people ever, and you get them all in their natural element, and you put them in a movie that has nothing to do with anything. And I feel like that's what this is. Now, the wife is going to get rescued by a ranch hand. Yep. And then this whole storyline in here between Eros and this chick is just, it's ridiculous.
So, like,
dude.
the main...
So they opened it up for the dead to go in there, like the undead. They're basically controlling the three with all this electronic equipment. So this is why I'm saying, like, is this the entrance to the mausoleum? Because that's where they came out of before. That's what they came out of before. And also other people are coming out of there, which made no sense, the toy mausoleum. Also, the outside of the UFO is showing as broad daylight. So I'm going to assume that, and they're in the dark cemetery. Why is it bright daylight outside of their UFO out of the window? Also doesn't make sense. Even if it was dusk, it wouldn't be that bright. But it clearly isn't. It's dark right now.
Yeah.
Like, Bela Lugosi's going in there. Why is there a half ladder out of the UFO hatch?
Yeah, that ladder doesn't even reach the ground.
It's ridiculous.
Yeah, the whole thing's very... Ed Wood just thought he was better than he actually was. Ed Wood was just too cocky for his own good. Because that's what I was reading up. I was like curious. I was like, if Ed Wood was self-aware. But Ed Wood truly believed he was making good movies.
Yeah, that's the thing. He thought,
and that's kind of a shame.
yeah.
Because he was a very delusional person.
Yep.
But
And then, so there's, to explain this guy now.
Ugh.
This is the army guy who talks to his superior and basically confesses that he's seen the flying saucers. He knows it's real. He's saying you could be court-martialed for that. And he's like, that's fine. I know it's real. He's like, okay, forget what I said earlier. Help me understand, and let's take him down.
So everyone just keeps going to the graveyard to investigate.
Yeah, it's literally like rinse, repeat. Go to the graveyard. They're pointing at the map in California. This is in California, I'm guessing?
Yeah, I think the whole movie takes place in California.
So this dude, he's like the leader.
Yes, of the aliens.
Did you notice how he's in the last scene, that big blow up between the pilot and the other guy? He's not even in it.
No.
What in the shit is that? So, like,
Why is he also wearing a medieval halberd shirt?
They're wearing purple. Why the fuck is this guy dressed like he's in medieval times? Like, it doesn't even fit. These people like look like they're in Star Trek, and he fucking looks like he's going to go
To the run fair.
fucking joust.
Yeah. He looks like he's getting ready for the run fair. It's so it's so dumb. But that's Ed Wood. It's Ed Wood. He's a crazy guy.
That's the example. So, like, I guess Tor Johnson comes in, like you said, he can't differentiate the aliens from the people, so he tries to go and fucking attack them, and they have to disable the stun gun,
Yes.
and that basically stabilizes him so he doesn't keep
Everything.
moving. And where are his pupils?
They're looking down, I think. He is a hulking man.
But what is his face? Like, what is that face doing?
What that face do? I love how also there's the throwaway line when she picks her gun back up. She's like, the fall must have reset it.
Yeah. Oh, my God.
So the colonel goes to the airline pilot. They go to the police. All of them are together going to go to the graveyard and confront the aliens once and for all. But for some reason, they bring the wife. It's like bringing Terry. Why are we just bringing the girls places?
These irrational people. And then this is the killer. Not only do they bring her to the scene, they bring her and tell her to stay in the car.
Yes. With just one police officer. And then Tor Johnson comes, and doesn't he just knock him out and carry her away?
Yeah, it's interesting how he chooses to knock her out and carry. Like, why does he want to carry her away?
I actually don't know.
Like, why would he not carry them both, or kill them both, or knock them both out, or carry them both
there's
back?
no reason for him to like target either of them, really.
Nope, makes no sense. But yeah, they're gonna encounter these people.
Yeah. And the big encounter is like they have like a huge scuffle. Like,
Like, oh, I didn't see this ginormous UFO.
oh yeah, I know.
But yeah, it is going to be a scuffle. I would say that while that is happening, Tor Johnson, doesn't he get hit in the back by
And-
the other detective coming back?
And it gets turned
knocks
into
him
a
out?
skeleton.
Yeah, once they move away, I think he gets turned into a skeleton when the stun gun's not there. they're able to do that because the stun gun is turned off, and that's why he's able to
I
harm him.
believe so.
Because if the ray gun or whatever it's called is turned on, it wouldn't.
Yeah, I think
hurt
that's
him.
the science behind it.
I'm guessing because I really don't know, but that's the logic I think they're presenting us with. But this scene, how much time is left in this movie? So there's about 14, 15 minutes left. This scene is the entire. It's supposed to be a diplomatic scene of why they are doing what they're doing.
Right.
And holy shit, is it boring and so dumb. Like, we already assumed this throughout the movie. Why do we need Eros to explain it and then explain how his people like they're just like watchers and they just try to gather information, and then he's like, oh, but by the way, also women are totally subservient, and we give them the instruction.
Yeah.
Because remember, like she was gonna do something, like she got like very aggressive with them. He's like, you stay back, bitch.
Bri, I'm like struggling to like come up with more things to say, because like the end of the movie is just the aliens explaining their motivation, like you were kind of saying, with like nothing happens. They just blow up the ship, and it's a great scene of a stringed UFO on fire.
Yeah. Oh no, 100%. This is the only there. Many people are killed at one time. He's explaining an atom bomb and then a bomb created based on the sun, like the solar night.
The hydrogen bomb.
Hydrogen bomb, and then he's talking about a solar bomb.
Oh, and they have the solar bomb, and we don't have the solar bomb, so
Yeah.
we could get the solar bomb through them, I think is what he's trying to.
Yep.
So
and
he
then
gets slapped in the face and fucking he turns green.
that's super interesting too, because like I feel like you never know that because this was originally in black and white.
Yes.
So only because it's in color were you able to see that you hit him, he turns green.
Yeah, I don't know.
Is that their real form? Like
Maybe he turned black in the black and white version. I couldn't find the black and white version. They only had the color versions available.
Yeah.
But
Also, you see what I'm saying? The guy who was wearing the fucking medieval time shit. He's like the leader, right?
Yeah.
Why isn't he in this scene?
Yeah, he just like squirms away.
Where did
he's
he
with
go?
the mothership.
Where did he go though?
The mothership.
Yeah, I think he actually like legitimately flew away.
Okay.
Was no one driving that car? Oh, no, someone driving that car.
Yeah, he's like looking out after the wife, right? One of
Yeah.
these dudes, and
Bro,
One day it could all be gone. Like,
This scene just drags on.
He just keeps
and
talking about it.
on.
Yeah.
tell you what, Tor, he's got the lady. He could pick her up with his fucking fingers, though. He doesn't need these arms.
I mean, it's that they literally bash him in the back of the head. They attack Eros.
In this riveting fight
They
scene.
set the UFO on fire. I guess it's just by breaking the equipment because it does get caught on fire. They ironically know how to use the equipment, which is weird, but he beats him up. They leave. They fly the plane away, and it blows up in midair.
Yep.
The plane. I meant the UFO. And that's it. That is the movie. Plan 9 did not work, so we'll have to wait for Plan 10.
Bro, it's so
That's
bad.
It's a hard one to talk about.
Yeah, I mean, we had to do it because it's the epitome of what bad movies are. Like, this is the OG bad movie that like everyone talks about. And the issue with this movie is I don't remember why I didn't remember that it peaks 12 minutes in.
Yeah, I think we were riding on such a high.
Yeah.
Oh, definitely.
We were riding on the biggest high.
We were on a Tor high.
Yeah.
No
Taurine.
joke, dude. It was, yeah, we were on Taurine. It's one of the funniest things I think we've all ever seen. And then we couldn't realize that the rest of this movie is pretty god awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
You realize you were watching something just so grandiose, but that there was also an hour and 6 minutes left of the film.
I think we were laughing so much at Tor Johnson's his line delivery. We just forgot.
No joke. I was sobbing the first time I saw it.
Like, and you just don't realize there's an hour and 6 minutes left of nonsense. Granted, we were probably also laughing at like Bela Lugosi being a vampire.
Right.
There was like little things like that. I guess it's got that like, I'll say it because I haven't really said it, a charm to it the first time you watch it because
Definitely.
like it's funny. But like on a rewatch, I still love the first 12 minutes of this movie. But holy shit, is the rest boring?
It's a tough sit.
Yeah.
It is a tough set, especially those last 20 minutes, man. The last 15 to 20 where he's explaining their life on their planet, why they came there, all about our history and how we've caused wars and how they're better. And but it doesn't conclusively bring the whole movie together.
No.
It just talks about them and how they're better than us or whatever, but it doesn't bring together why they came, what the plan was, what were the first 8 plans, what the strategy was, why does the cemetery dark when everything else is lighttime.
Yeah, I agree.
I think the reason for that is because Ed Wood didn't care.
Yeah. Yeah.
He just didn't give a fuck.
Which is why I'm going to give this movie a 2 out of 10.
Okay. Which is the same rating you gave the Bye Bye Man in this set. Right?
You're going to tell me you weren't more entertained by the Bye Bye Man than this?
The Bye Bye Man is a higher 2 than this.
Okay. So this is like a light 2.
Yeah. I mean, so Bad Movie January, I gave this a 2, Bye Bye Man 2, Fear.com a 4, and Doom a 6. I mean, I stand by all that. I was going to give this a 1, but like, I don't know. Tor Johnson, I can't give this movie a 1 because 1s are reserved for something that has no redeeming quality at all.
Yeah.
And Tor Johnson alone,
oh, he clearly has redeeming qualities.
it is
Like you're
is
giving
a 2.
him the Tor Johnson.
This is a Tor Johnson 2. Rest of the movie a 1.
Yeah.
So I'm giving it obviously a 2. So
I'm not going to go into like grave detail because there's nothing to go into
You
detail.
said grave because there was graves.
Yeah.
Nice.
They don't give this job to chimps or whatever that saying is.
You know how this review is so bad? Our producer fell asleep before.
Yo, it catches all of us, dude.
I looked over and he was just knocked
was
out
just
on the
out.
table. I was just making sure he didn't fall asleep on the button.
Yo, you're lucky I didn't have like a Werther's in here. I would have fucking tossed one at you. Right at your dome.
I was awake.
He goes, I was awake.
I was awake.
What were your thoughts of this movie, Matt, before Mike's review?
I was incredibly bored by it.
I couldn't tell.
I was incredibly bored by it.
Okay.
Yeah, my review, this movie's...
I was watching the Texans game that they scored 2 points in, and this movie was better than that game, but it was still not very
What was the final score of that game?
like, I know the Texans scored 2 points. And
So they got a safety? That's it?
Yeah, literally. It was the
That's
worst
sick.
game ever.
That's
And
sick.
then I was also side by side with this.
What a night.
Worst
Man.
movie I watched. Yeah.
You must have slept well that night. All the boring shit. Seriously, this movie, I can't believe how bad it is on rewatch. Outside of the scene, which is one of the scenes of all time, literally. Which is why, for me, it's a 3 because that scene's so fucking incredible.
Fair.
Yeah.
It bumps what is like this movie's truly like a 1 to like a decent 3.
Okay. Brian.
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to like say everything that you guys said because you guys kind of nailed it. The film's trash. Like there's nothing redeemable about it. It's goofy and boring and stupid and nonsensical, but it does have one of the funniest scenes in the history of movies, and we're not just saying that. You've heard 3 of us say it now.
Yeah.
That scene when they introduce Inspector Daniel Clay on the crime scene is fucking gold. I'm giving this movie a 2, 1 for the movie and then 1 for Tor Johnson, so the film gets a 2 for me because it is. That scene is
funny.
gold.
We call it gold, and it's just Tor literally stumbling over his lines.
He fucks up every line he does, and it's only 2 fucking minutes. It's 2 minutes, but it's so funny. Like, it is so funny.
I also forgot how he has that incredible all-time legendary scene. He fucking dies like a minute later. Literally.
Oh,
Yeah.
He's dead.
Grabs his flashlight to walk back out and get killed.
Such a god.
And then
it's such
his
a shame.
mouth is open for the rest
And then
of
his
the film.
mouth is just open. And he's such a hulking beast.
He is a beef mountain.
And then, but like, his fucking undead version of him is just like this open mouth, like eyeless, like fucking husk. Like,
Yeah.
He's so big, the suit couldn't contain him, and neither could the soil he was buried in.
Facts. Oh God.
truly something else. This movie is.
So this movie has a shortage of deaths, but I guess we all
See my-
agree it's got to be Tor.
It's Tor Johnson, yeah, for sure.
He gets killed off screen by both of them. Like it.
Is there an on-screen death we could even?
No, I think
No.
all the kills are off screen. Actually, you might think what I'm gonna say is crazy to you guys, and you guys are probably gonna win with Inspector Clay's death. But I don't think I'm gonna choose Inspector Clay.
Who are you gonna choose?
I'm gonna choose the old man. Because how the fuck does that guy die?
That's a
Oh,
good
He
point.
walks off the screen, you hear a car horn, and that's it. Because the next scene has a car, and he's dead.
Yeah, that is bad too.
Understood that the answer is Inspector Clay, but I'm going to go with what is titled The Ghoul Man.
It is titled. Yes, his character is called the Ghoul Man.
I don't know why it's Ghoul Man. He's clearly Dracula.
Yeah, I don't know.
I guess maybe for
they probably have the
licensing.
rights. I don't know.
Yeah.
All right, Tor Johnson though.
I have to.
Yeah, it's Tor Johnson.
Detective Andrew. No.
Andrew?
Daniel Clay. I'm stumbling my life. Is this for you? You were the lead detective I've ever seen. The medical examiner is coming over and it's going, Johnny, you know what I said? You're really good and I look everything you do in a movie. You were a bad part. You made a movie go 1 and 2 and it was fucking fantastic. I love everything about it. I was some of the time jumping around my tree. And for that, we're going to put you in our Necronomicon.
Oh my god. I think I'm never going to do the show again.
I don't want to do the show ever again either because now that Bad Movie January is over, a month I came up with and loved, we're going back to Brian's baby.
Yeah.
Fucked up February.
What a baby it is. It is that time of the year, folks. The time to get out your vomit bags and watch some of the grossest shit ever with us. Starting next week, we will be starting and kicking off Fucked Up February 2025. This is the 4th year we've done it? Or the
Yeah,
5th?
I think it's
the 4th?
Fourth.
We didn't do it.
The first year.
Well, technically, we did do it the first year, right?
Oh, yeah, technically you're right.
Yeah, so this is the 4th. I think this is the 4th.
I think it's 4 though still.
Yeah, it's because we did it first in 2022. No, 21, 22, 23, 24. Wait, is it the 5th?
This is 25 we're doing now.
21? Unless we didn't do it in 2021 and we started into I don't
I'm gonna
remember
go
the
back.
year.
I can check real quick while we, because now you got me curious. It's bad. You know what it is? We've been doing this so long.
And you know if
sometimes
it's the
you
4th
forget.
annual or the 5th annual.
So our first ever February of recording, we
Oh
did.
no, we didn't do it.
No,
'cause
we didn't do it
we-
the first
we did
February.
My Bloody Valentine. And the good.
Good Son, Hobo with a Shotgun,
Yeah.
Blair Witch Project. So this is the 4th annual Fucked Up February.
Got it. Damn.
Yeah, because the first Fucked Up February we did I Spit on Your Grave, Faces of Death, a Serbian film, and 120 Days of Sodom.
Well, we have quite the lineup this year. Quite possibly more grosser than last year, if you could believe it. And last year we did Human Centipede 3 and Sweet Movie.
Yeesh.
And the year before that, we did Cannibal Holocaust. So it's kind of crazy shit. But I would say this one, we're gearing up for something truly disgusting. And next week, we're doing a historical horror film in a way. Maybe horror in the sense that the things you saw or the things that were reported were horrible. And that movie is called Men Behind the Sun,
Oh, God.
a film that depicts the atrocities that took place by Squadron 731 in, please quote me if I'm wrong, Manchu, Japan, an area of Japan where they were really testing biological and bacterial weapons on people. And apparently this was based on true events. This was a real place that did commit these heinous war crimes, and they made a movie about it. And it is quite literally hard to watch.
Yeah, it's going to be very fucked up. There's a lot of fucked up things we're going to be talking about.
There's a lot of torture. There's a lot of young boys, which is weird because they were doing the youth corps.
Yeah.
And violence to a lot of people.
Yeah.
POWs and the like. And yeah, it's really bad.
So,
stuff.
with that said, we are the Final Podcast signing off, and we will see you next week where we discover, can you take the entire skin off of an arm and the person survive?
Can you take me higher?
Yeah.
That is www.thefinalpodcast.com. New episodes every Monday, and yes, we are reviewing that type of film next week. Subscribe to the YouTube. Please give us a 5-star on Apple Podcasts and Spotify, and we will see you next week.
Make a lot.
Bye,